Okay guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Alright guys, it's Tuesday, June 16th, and it is 9:37 p.m. There's no queue tonight, so we're going to get into the news. Hopefully, we'll get 2 videos done tonight. Let's get at her. I don't know about you, but my cats, maybe you have cats, maybe you don't. But if you do, do you ever have days where they're just wild? I don't know what it is, whether it's spring fever or what, because it's a beautiful day out there and the cats have just been driving me crazy. And you know what? I mean, I feed them good quality food. I take them to the vet. I brush them. I give them fresh water twice a day. Just whatever I can do to please them. And you would think that the least they could do is just make me a sandwich or get me a coffee. I mean, I want them to bow down. I want them to say, all glory to the High Queen. I can't even dominate cats. That's how easygoing I am. Can't even dominate cats. However, if you give me the flu, I can dominate a commode. Yes, I can. All right, well, that has nothing to do with anything, but thought I'd throw it in there. Now, we have a few people to thank here, and I'm going to do this now because sometimes I forget when I leave it to the end, and that's just not very nice at all. So the following donated via coffee: Anon, Diane Haney, Beloved One. I like that name, Beloved One, and I bet you are a beloved one. And Rach and Chula the Box. I hope I pronounced that right. Rach and Chula the Boxer. I like that name. Anyway, and I think the boxer means, you know, a dog boxer. All right. Not that she's got a boxer there, like a boxer named Chula. I don't think so. It's a dog. Okay. Anyway, let's get into the news because there is plenty of that. I'm hoping to be able to do 2 videos tonight. That's right. 2 videos. And I need to get moving and stop chatting. But, you know, every once in a while, I have to indulge the desire to chat. So let's get right into this. And there is a lot of stuff out there. Let me tell you, there's a lot of news. Minneapolis mayor asks Trump for aid after riots cause at least $55 million in damage. Now, I would say that that's conservative, $55 million, because I remember being in Baton Rouge when the hurricane went through. This was actually Hurricane Gustav, which caused more damage in Baton Rouge than Hurricane Katrina did, believe it or not. And it was like $5 billion in damages just from that, $5 billion. And really, when you look at it, when I looked around, yes, there was a lot of damage, but I thought, wow, that's a lot of money. So 55 million, I think that's a little conservative for everything that was damaged. If what we're seeing with our eyes on news and on videos and everything is true. And I believe that it is. So anyway, yeah, imagine the nerve. The mayor asked Trump for aid after the riots caused damage, but did they do anything to intercept those riots that they called peaceful protesters? Gee, for peaceful protesters, they sure caused a lot of damage. Anyway, the Minneapolis mayor is asking for federal help. Now, who didn't see this coming? Really, who didn't see this coming? I think everybody did. They're asking for federal help cleaning up and rebuilding his city after rioters caused at least $55 million worth of damage through looting, burning, and defacing public and private property. The cost estimate is likely to increase in the coming days as government officials continue to tally the damage done in the wake of George Floyd's death. Mayor Jacob Frey said, according to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and the state's congressional delegation are also pushing the Trump administration and Congress for funding. I knew that was coming. That's why they probably didn't care what got destroyed, because they were just going to petition the federal government to cover it. So that all comes out of taxpayer money. That's right. So even if you're in the middle of a cornfield in Nebraska, you're still paying for it if it comes out of federal money. And who knows? I don't know what Trump was going to do in this particular case. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, yes, on Tuesday, city officials released the initial estimate of $55 million in damage done to at least 220 buildings. The mayor said that the number was likely a lowball estimate. Well, I would say it definitely is, because $55 million. I mean, you loot a Target store, I mean, and empty it out and burn it. I mean, that right there is millions. And it happened to a lot of stores. So when you think of all the product that was looted, the burning of buildings and so forth, $55 million is not going to touch it. It really is not. It's just not that much money. And I mean, sure, it would be a lot of money if I had it. I'd be happy with $1 million. But not that I need it. I don't. And, but the, yeah, I mean, it's just in today's money, it's not that much. So, where else were we? Let me see. The mayor said the number was likely a lowball estimate, and I would agree, and that the total cost of the riots across Minneapolis and the state capital, St. Paul, is likely to be tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Yes, I would say it would be in probably the estimate of $1 billion would even probably be a lowball estimate. I'm just saying, just based on, I know how much damage was done in Baton Rouge, and that was $5 billion. So this is definitely on a scale of that. So there you go. We will do everything we can to shift to recovery mode, Frey said. According to the Star Tribune, we're covering from crisis sandwiched on top of each other, from COVID-19 to the police killing and then the looting, which took place afterward. City and state officials are attempting to get financial support from Congress or through the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Neither option looks promising. Representative Betty McCollum, Democrat, Minnesota, said. Floyd died while in Minnesota police custody on May 25th. 4 officers have been fired, one of whom, Derek Chauvin, has been charged with second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. The other 3 have been charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and manslaughter. Video of Floyd's arrest, blah, blah, blah. We know all that. Okay, the protests devolved into riots, and Minneapolis police were overwhelmed with widespread looting and burning. Frey also held the police back one night, ordering them to abandon the 3rd Police Precinct, where Chauvin and the other former officers had been stationed. Yeah, probably wanted to burn it down because there was evidence in there. Just saying. So anyway, I'm not going to read the rest of this. We've got too much to get to read every single thing. I just want you to get the gist of what is in the news and what is happening. Now, some of it I may read, but it just depends on what it is. But, I mean, I could see that coming a mile away, really. And I think all of you could as well, because we knew that that's what they do. We knew that. And do you think that money is going to go to where it's supposed to go? I doubt it. I doubt it. Just like the money that people are giving towards Black Lives Matter, where's that money going? Well, it's going right into the DNC. The most of which is going to Joe Biden. And they raised $35 million. That's right, $35 million they raised from people wanting to pay for people's bonds so they could get out of jail. Now, that doesn't get them off the hook. That just pays their bonds so they can get out of jail. They still have to go back and face charges. So they still may do jail time. But get this. So they raised $35 million. Do you know how much they have spent to date on paying people's bail? $200,000. So where did the rest of the money go? That money was raised specifically for that cause. Where did it all go? I bet you it's right in the DNC's coffers. Namely, Joe Biden's campaign. That's where I highly suspect it went. And that is a educated guess, but a good one. All right, so let's go on here. And this from Charlie Kirk. Did you know the Minneapolis Freedom Fund? Oh, look at this. It's right here. I have it. I forgot that I'd clipped that out. The Minneapolis Freedom Fund raised $35 million to bail out the violent criminals and rioters who burned down Minnesota after George Floyd's death. Guess how much they spent on bail? $200,000. I wonder where the rest of that money is going. Well, we all know, don't we? Yeah, it's the same. It's like when you give to Black Lives Matter, it goes to Act Blue, and when you see where the money from Act Blue is going, it's going to the Democrats. Plain and simple. All right. Not that I'm saying that the Democrats planned this or anything. My gosh, no, I'd never say that. No. All right, let's look at this. Tulsa Craigslist listing offering payment. Now, if this doesn't make you sick to your stomach, Tulsa Craigslist listing offering payment for COVID positive people to attend Tulsa rally. Yeah, you're right. You heard that correctly. Let's take a look at this ad. Unbelievable. COVID positive people needed as test subjects. Tulsa Bach Center. If you have been diagnosed as having the COVID virus and really want to make a difference, we are hiring 20 of you to work in a large-scale test on transmission of the virus. Please assemble outside the Bach Convention Center on Saturday night wearing all black, or if arriving in a group of 4, please dress in the following manner. 1 dressed in all white, 1 dressed in all black, 1 dressed in coveralls, 1 barefoot or wearing flip-flops. Yeah, flip-flops. It's summer. How many people do you think are going to be wearing flip-flops? These people really don't have any brains rattling around up there at all. When they shake their head, there's just nothing. It's echo. It's an echo chamber. Anyway, this will make it easy to identify you. Right. Okay. Singers or people with a bad cough preferred. Singers or people with a bad cough. So there you go. If you are positive for COVID, they want to pay you, I guess, to, make a difference. Oh, I don't know. Did they say anything about paying them? No, it says we're hiring. So yeah, if you hire somebody, you pretty much need to pay them. They say, oh, you'll make a difference. So if you have COVID, get up out of your bed and dress in all black, all white, coveralls or flip-flops, and, meet there, when Trump's rally is going to be, and, just spread the love. Right. That's the way these people think. That's how they think. Talk about sick. When Q says these people are sick, oh yeah, they're beyond sick. They really are beyond sick. And, I look at these people and I think, you know what? You look at them stomping to death, black people, that's supposed to be Black Lives Matter, but it doesn't matter, black, white, they'll beat you. Doesn't matter. They're equal opportunity, it's equal opportunity violence, I guess. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian. They don't care. They'll beat you. And they'll stomp your brains out. And they'll be happy about it. And they'll go on their way, I've never seen such cold-blooded killers. And they have no moral compass whatsoever. None. They'd probably stomp their grandmother to death if she supported Trump. I'm not kidding. It's unbelievable. It's hard to even process what's happening at times, because I look at these people and I think, my gosh, are they even human? Hitting the one in New York City, I think it was, where the guy, and they don't know who it is yet, but the woman was 92, I believe, and he just knocks her out. He's just walking by her and just casually knocks her out. What is wrong with these people? That's somebody's grandmother. That's somebody's mother. I don't get it. And you know what? The Lord help me if I ever do get it. I don't want to get it. I don't want to understand that ever, because there's no excuse for that. They're not, how are they helping the cause? They're not. All right, well, let's move on now, and I'll stop talking your leg off. All right, Antifa groups start GoFundMe to replace guns stolen from them in Seattle's occupied zone. What don't they get about autonomous? I mean, maybe they should change it to something else. In fact, I think they did. Isn't it going by CHOP now? Chaz, CHOP, whatever they're calling it. It's the name du jour. I don't even know what CHOP is standing for now, but there you go. Yeah, they need more guns. So I guess it's everybody else's duty to give it to them. So members of the Antifa group, John Brown Gun Club, have started a GoFundMe after having their weapons stolen at the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, while the Chaz has instituted its own form of unelected security throughout the area. The John Brown Gun Club has been one of the groups to spearhead the effort, but members of the group apparently had their weapons stolen and are now looking to raise money to purchase new ones. Okay. Things that make you go, huh? Yeah, it's, if I wasn't reading it, I wouldn't even believe that somebody, I don't know. Jack Prosovic posted on Twitter late Monday evening, tweeting, a member of the Antifa group, John Brown Gun Club, got his rifle and full kit stolen after bringing it to Cap Hill as part of their armed security. He has launched a GoFundMe page to raise money to purchase more weapons after showing he is completely irresponsible with them. That's right. And here's the thing. How is that not a violation of GoFundMe? Because let me tell you, if you're raising money for a conservative, they'll rip it down real quick. But they're perfectly fine with raising money for guns. So, it says here, a member of the Antifa group, John Brown Gun Club, got his rifle and full kit stolen after bringing it to Cap Hill. He has launched a GoFundMe to raise money to purchase more weapons. Yes, that's what he needs, is more weapons after the weapon he had was stolen. Let's hope that it's not in the hands of some of those crazy homeless people. They looked, well, there was one, that was the most pathetic garden I've ever seen in my life, that said black and brown people and their plant allies only. Whatever plant allies are. And it was the most pathetic garden. And then a homeless guy came in and danced. He had a long, like javelin type thing, and he was dancing in it, and he ripped up all the soil and everything. So let's hope he's not the one that got a hold of it. Right. Very irresponsible. A video posted by someone with the Autonomous Zone captured an announcement by someone with a speaker who said the John Brown Gun Club is armed for your safety. Studio 59, 54 Designs protester gives us a look around Chaz. Notice the sign, cowards hide behind their guns. Oh, is that right? Oh, they're just like a living dichotomy. I mean, they're I don't get it. And listen to the lady announce that they are protected. The John Brown Club is armed for your safety, but they have a sign there saying cowards hide behind their guns. Well, if the shoe fits. Now, let's take a look at this video, shall we? Why the heck not? Oh, the media could not be played. And you know why? Because they're pulling all this stuff down. That's why. But let's go here, because there's another link here. Maybe, oh, here we go.
Anyway, we still got a pretty full crowd out here. I'd say there's a good 400 people or so. They have completely taken over this precinct. I want to give you guys a little perimeter view here. So this is the East Precinct on 12th and Pine, Seattle. It's Capitol
Okay,
Hill.
we have a message coming through from the John Brown Gun Club, who is helping us with security. There are some things they want you to know. The John Brown Gun Club is armed for your safety. They are on our side.
If you guys want to get a screenshot of this, it's actually pretty dope. Hold on, let me see if I can get it for you. The whole thing.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, there you go. Do you feel more enriched for having, learned this? At the time of this writing, the GoFundMe that was started for Antifa's irresponsible security to purchase new weapons has received 480 of the total amount of 6,000. The fundraising page states the following: I was helping with security in the Capitol Hill area, so I staged my full kit at what I thought was a someone who could be trusted, only to have it stolen. I've received multiple death threats from the far right who wrongly think I'm Antifa or a communist, and that's not the case. I simply wanted to provide security for protesters, organizers, and community leaders, speakers, so that I could, be a deterrent for a potential Charlottesville situation. They stole my gun. I can't trust anyone. Not even in Chaz. I can't trust anyone. I can guarantee that Chaz is not a far left-wing space. No one is being held against their will. Businesses aren't being extorted. No, they'd never extort businesses, would they now? Of course not. Their businesses aren't being extorted, and the media has largely twisted the plot into something it's not. I mean, look at us with all our guns and ammo. We're having a big street party. Come and join us. Unless you're white. I am a man of peace and do not subscribe to any of the race baiting that's been in constant circulation. I'm just trying to find a way to replace what was stolen. I stole my gun, so I may continue to support the community and fight against racial injustice. Now, I'm just throwing this out there, okay? Remember, there was a guy that had his laptop stolen, and when he went to, I think it was the warlord there, or whoever is running this well-organized place, they said, oh, well, consider it reassigned. Somebody else needed it more than you did. So just consider that it's been reassigned. It hasn't been stolen. No, it's been reassigned. Nobody raised money to replace his laptop, did they? So maybe the guy with the gun, my gun's stolen. Well, maybe it's been reassigned. Perhaps somebody had more need of it than he did. So just smile. No worries, right? Don't they have all things in common? Don't they? He's not a very good communist, is he? Because, he should be able to share. It wasn't stolen, it was reassigned. Somebody needed it more. Come on. I'm just saying, he's not a good communist or socialist. He needs to stop whining and just realize that it's for the greater good that his weapon was reassigned. Somebody needed it more. Just throwing that out there. All right, well, let's go back now. And let's go on. Now, I find this interesting. No, really, I do. I find the timing of this very, very interesting. And not in a negative way. Federal executions will restart next month after, get this, 17 years. Federal executions will restart next month after 17 years. Bill Barr reveals a white supremacist who murdered a family, 2 child rapists, and a gunman who killed 5 will be the first inmates put to death by the U.S. government since 2003. Fascinating. 17 years. I'm just throwing that out there. Where have I heard 17 before? Oh, isn't the 17th letter of the alphabet Q? Just throwing it out there. Yeah. So these people are all on death row. I'm not going to read it all because, I think suffice it to say that these people are being put to death. And I would say that they're probably, here's this guy with an SS symbol. He's probably the white supremacist. I mean, if I was to guess. And so these people are not, they're extra bad. It's not like you're ever going to want them to get out of prison. But anyway, I'm not going to comment on that further. I really don't like the idea of capital punishment, but, well, part of me, I'm kind of one of those people that I'm kind of split. And really, if I was on a debate team, I could argue well for each side. But I don't know. And I know people say, well, it's an eye for an eye, but we're not in the Old Testament. Anyway, let's just leave that be, okay? Let's just leave that be because people are passionate on both sides. I'm neither passionate for one side or the other. I just don't know. There are pros and cons to each. I think in a case where somebody is going to be in prison their entire life and never get out, should the public be saddled with paying for this person's room and board forever? I don't think so. But anyway, let's go on. No, really. Let's. Okay, and for the most ridiculous thing I've heard in a long time, but of course there's so many ridiculous things now, it's even hard to say that. But liberals cancel Domino's Pizza over 8-year-old tweet to Kayleigh McEnany. Yeah, so how do you feel about that? And that is posted today. That was from today. So, yeah. Proving that we truly live in the dumbest of times, Domino's Pizza has amazingly become the latest target of a cancel culture. We began 2020 with fears over war with Iran, followed by a pandemic, quickly forgotten murder hornets, nationwide riots, and now escalating tensions between China and India and South and North Korea. But on top of all that, we're now learning of a new crisis, that Domino's once tweeted a nice message to White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. The calls to boycott the pizzeria were spawned by self-described principled Republican Rick Wilson, who discovered a generic tweet that Domino had sent to Kayleigh McEnany thanking her for a compliment in 2012 when she was a 24-year-old college student. Of note, Wilson belongs to the brand of conservatives known for having no actual conservative principles whatsoever. Yeah, so this is when she was 24. Excuse me, I have got an itch right in the middle of my back. So yeah, she sent this. Fun fact, Domino's is way better than any New York City pizza. That's what she said. She was 24 years old. And they responded at Kayleigh McEnany, that's one heck of a compliment. Thanks for the love. We appreciate it. And for that, they're wanting to boycott Domino's Pizza. So, or is it was Domino's, right? Did I say Domino's? Yes, Domino's. Apparently, unable to read dates, Wilson then replied to the tweet informing Domino's that they had just killed their brand. To be fair, I think their pizza already did that. I don't know. We have really a local pizza place here that is the best pizza I've ever tasted. I've been all over Central America. I've been to almost every state. I've been to every province in Canada. And this is the best pizza I've ever tasted in my life. So I don't order any of that crap because this pizza, they even have a farm over in Italy where they get their sauce and everything. It's family owned. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, so the tweet has over 5K retweets and 20,000 likes as of writing, even though everyone can clearly see the date of the quoted tweet in the top right corner. Yeah, not too bright, are you, Rick Wilson? You just, here's his tweet. You just killed the brand. Now, this was Domino's Pizza's reply. Oh, no, that's not it. But they did reply, and it was a good one. So it says, thousands in the comments made their message clear that they'd be boycotting the establishment because an intern 8 years ago, tasked with replying to customer tweets, did their job and replied to a future press secretary before anyone knew who she was. Or, alternatively, perhaps they just don't know how to read. Well, I think that's more likely. So, yeah. And so this person says, no more pizza from you, Amanda Tackett. Not too bright, are you, Amanda? Obviously not. And this person said, sick of a golf twitler. A golf twitler. I'm out. No more Domino's for me. And Courtney DeCamp said, way to align yourself with a political party, Domino's. Probably should have just been silent. Yeah, they wrote this, 8 years ago, I think, did they say? And Brian Kolstad said, I'll never order your pizza again. Hope your man crush on Kaylee was worth it. Alrighty. And this, Domino's, you should have sat this one out. And meanwhile, McKinney seemed to have gotten a kick out of the whole scandal. She put, I love Domino's and also Pizza Hut. Domino's also weighed in to mock the absurdity of the situation. And they wrote, well, it's unfortunate that thanking a customer for a compliment back in 2012 would be viewed as political. Guess that's 2020 for you. Good for them. Good comeback. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, I'd say that we conservatives need to order more Domino's. I mean, if the liberals are that stupid, I mean, why should this business suffer because they responded to a compliment 8 years ago? That's how ridiculous this whole thing has become. What's next? Not like this will make a difference for the boycotters, but the only actual recent political pass Domino had on their Twitter account is one expressing solidarity with Black Lives Matter. Oh, so maybe we don't want to support them. And announcing donations to the National Urban League and a group that helps Black girls learn to code. Well, that's a worthy, donation. And unfortunately for them, they can't find refuge in Pizza Hut either. Because, I guess, is this Trump doing a Pizza Hut commercial? Well, let's look at it. This is 20 years ago, by the way. If it ever stops, just spinning. Come on, man. You do this.
Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Donald Trump, we're all cut from the same cloth. And that cloth is very, very large.
It's not too big. No. Why do New Yorkers have such big mouths?
Go big or go home.
Because they eat big pizza like a big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. We're talking 40% bigger. Soft, fresh dough with all your favorite toppings. Now from just $9.95.
You gotta be losing money on this.
I remember that commercial.
Pizza Hut!
Do you remember that commercial? I remember it now that I see it. That's 20 years old. Hard to believe, but yeah, so I guess, that's probably why Kaylee said that about Pizza Hut, because she probably knew that Donald Trump had done an ad for Pizza Hut all those years ago. I don't know. The liberals are not too smart. What is happening? Honestly, it's like a disease of the mind. I don't get it. Anyway, let's go on, shall we? Because there's more. There's always more. All right. Well, I'm having fun with these tonight. I like it when the news is ridiculous. Now, this isn't ridiculous. This is alarming. It says, wow, members of parliament of Brazil break into hospital that claimed to have 5,000 infected and 200 deaths from COVID-19 and caught them red-handed. Not one person. They have frauded the world. Defrauded the world, I think, isn't it? It's not frauded. Anyway, no, it's not defraud. Anyway. And since this is in, I would assume that it's in Spanish. Let me just play this for a second. I think it is. Yeah, it's in Spanish. So this isn't helping us to understand any because it's in Spanish. But I think it was down here. There was another, yeah. It says 5 members of Brazil Parliament went to hospitals under encouragement by Bolsonaro to break into hospitals and check to see the number of patients there. This hospital late to be finished, but claiming 5,000 people with COVID-19 and 200 dead. So need this hospital. Oh, they were saying that they need this hospital because they have all these people, but they broke in and nobody there with COVID. Officials broke in to check it and found the hospital in an absolute mess, not finished, and no patients. The governor is frauding the state and nation and taxpayers and lying about the numbers to pad the numbers, embezzlement scheme to help bring down the country and push vaccine. That's exactly what they're doing. And now, of course, here in North America, they are saying that we're going to get a second wave and blah, blah, blah. Of course, it has nothing to do with the rioting. No, absolutely not. And by the way, the contact tracers have been informed in New York City that they are not to inquire as to whether they have been protesting. Anyway, officials broke in to check it, found the hospital. Okay, we read that. And they are telling the government they have 5,000 patients and receiving state payment for helping treat those who have fallen ill, since the facility is a private hospital, which is mentioned in the video. Despite having no patients, they still get to receive the state's subsidy. Yes, it's all massive fraud. Not only do they get to steal the money from the government, they are also getting paid money by criminals. Bill Gates, WHO, and vaccine makers. All across USA, hundreds of thousands of medical workers laid off as no COVID, only fraud, lies, scam, and mass financial crime, stealing from you, the taxpayer, fraud. Fauci bribing every hospital with 13 to 52,000 a pop for frauding vital statistics. Fauci should be in prison. I agree. Now, there's a piece of work. Severe second wave. Total BS, of course. It's impossible. Number one, everyone already infected. Number two, who says up to 80% are already immune and maybe naturally immune? 3, 30 to 70% in California already test positive on serology tests for antibodies equals immune. 4, most people got it already. I guess probably the people that were going to get it got it. I don't know. Anyway, this says criminal. Twitter is taking down this post, everyone. They have done a full search ban on it. Repost the information, send it directly to all your contacts, link to it on all social media. Evil criminal scumbags at Twitter are trying to erase and block the truth from the world. Well, no surprise there. And let's come down here. Everyone, please spread the word about my startup. No, I'm not. I don't know what this is about, and I don't care. All right, so, all right. Let's go back, shall we? Of course. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Here is another fascinating thing. Fascinating. And not in a good way. A growing number, do you hear the train? I bet you can because it's loud. I have the window open. A growing number of missing children on the Big Island is causing concern. Yeah, it's an island. Where did they go? Concerns are being raised on Hawaii's Island over a growing number of children going missing. At least 15 cases have been reported over the past 2 months, the latest being 3 siblings from Pahoa. Police are looking for 12-year-old Justin Soares Jr. So, concerns are being raised on Hawaii's island over a growing number of children gone missing. Okay, well, why is it saying the exact same thing here? Soares Jr. is described as being 4'11", 132 pounds, and last seen wearing blue baseball shorts, a blue flannel, and black Crocs. Justina Soares is 14 years old, 5'1", 144 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. She weighs more than I do for 14 years old. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. She needs to be found. And Justice Soares is 16 years old, 5'1", 135 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. According to the Hawaii County Police Department's website, most of the kids who have gone missing over these past few months were last seen in Hilo or Puna. My hope is that we as a community can open this conversation. It's not an easy subject, but as a parent of 3 children, I worry to death that there's something going on in our communities that we're not aware of, and we need to get in front of it and start talking. Hawaii County Council Member Matt, oh gosh, I can pronounce his last name, Kleinfelder, said, Matt, can't pronounce that, but last name Kleinfelder, said a Hawaii County Councilman, Matt Kleinfelder says Hawaii County Police will be addressing the issue next Tuesday at 9:15 a.m. at a council meeting. Well, it's a, and this person says, need to get pictures of those missing kids out there. Yes, I agree. They do. And 15 kids missing, I mean, well, Hawaii isn't just one island, it's a series, but still, where would those children go? I mean, I think they'd be noticed if they got on an airplane, unless it's a private plane. I guess somebody could get them off the island by boat, or perhaps they are still there being exploited. I don't know, but it's very troubling. That's a lot of kids to go missing in a short amount of time. So we need to pray that those children are found. I pray that they are found safe. You know, if I was a mother and my child had been sexually assaulted or whatever, I'd want them alive, you know, because you can get counseling, you can deal with the trauma, but you know, once they're gone, they're gone. So we just pray that those children are found alive. I'm sure it's, you know, it's not an innocent thing. There's something happening to the children on Hawaii. So if you happen to live in Hawaii and you have children, please pay attention to this, because, you know, what is that? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, something like that. It's an old saying, and I probably mangled it because it's what I do. So anyway, let's see. Let's go to the next thing. I think we are still under an hour here. Let me just, whatever, for a little over an hour. All right, see it. Nancy Pelosi gifts George Floyd's brother folded American flag. Outrage erupts online. Now, this is from yesterday, but gee, I can't imagine why people would be outraged. Do you? Yeah, I mean, I can understand why people are outraged, because he never served. He's not a police officer. He's never served, and he was a criminal. Now, I'm not saying that he deserved to die. I'm not saying that at all. But if he did in fact die, because we never know what's real anymore. We've come to that point in our history where we can't be sure of anything anymore. They can fake, well, just about anything. So, on Wednesday, Democratic Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, gifted Philonise Floyd, the brother of George Floyd, a folded encased American flag during a photo op. During a photo op, the House Speaker posted the images to her Facebook page. Well, of course she did. She's virtue signaling. And notified the public that the flag she gifted Philanese was the flag that flew over the Capitol on the day of his brother's murder. Philanese Floyd's heart-wrenching testimony to the House Judiciary Committee left its mark on us all. The high-ranking Democrat captioned the photo, along with two others, "May this flag, which flew over the Capitol on the day of his brother's murder, serve as a symbol of our shared commitment to secure justice for George and all victims of police violence." Philanese Floyd's heart-wrenching testimony to the House Judiciary Committee left its mark on us all. May this flag, blah, blah, blah. Folded American flags, known as burial flags, are often given to the family of our fallen United States military members or first responders. A United States flag is provided at no cost to drape the casket or accompany the urn of a deceased veteran who served honorably being the key word, in the U.S. Armed Forces. The government website for Veterans Affairs says it is furnished to honor the memory of a veteran's military service to his or her country. But we wouldn't expect Nancy Pelosi to understand that. I don't think she understands much of anything. In fact, she, the only thing she really sees is the bottom of a bottle of vodka. So, I don't know. All right, well, let's go back. And let's move on. And it says, this by Deanna Lorraine, "Nope, we're not falling for it again." And she's responding to this by CNN. "Experts warn a second shutdown over coronavirus could be worse than the first. Here's how to prevent it." Nope, not going to be a second shutdown, because I don't think Americans will stand for it. Is it worth bankrupting the small businesses for a virus that kills only an extremely small percentage of people? Now, those people that do get it, some of them are extremely serious. I don't doubt that at all. But the cure is far worse than the actual problem. You know what I'm saying? Like shutting everything down, it will bankrupt the country, and it is. Another shutdown, I just don't think people will fall for it, especially, we get such a short summer here. And this year, we went straight from winter to summer, which is unusual. It went from snowing one week to shorts the next. And that is unbelievable. And so when Canadians love the summertime, we camp, we fish, we boat. There's fresh water everywhere up here. And Canadians are out in the summer. They're out. They're everywhere. In the sun, they're walking the trails, they're, going hiking, they're whatever can be done outdoors, they do. And so you really think you're going to keep Canadians home in the summertime? Try again. All right. Well, it's 10:26 if you're on medication, and if you're not, maybe you should be. I don't know, but let's see how long we've been going. 48 minutes. All right. Well, I have time to cover a few more things because I want to cover as much as I can because I've got a ton to cover, and I am going to do a second video though. So what I don't cover in this one, I'll cover in the next. All right. Let's look at this. Buy guns and ammo. They're coming for you. Now, this is interesting, okay? Let's look at some of these. This from the Palmer Report. People who promote the racist propaganda hate speech on OANN, One American News Network, are dangerous thugs. They have no place in respectable society. Mike Gundy cannot remain the Oklahoma State head coach, too influential of a position in society. Fire him unless he agrees to get extensive psychological help. And the next one, it's time we acknowledge that conservatism isn't just some political view. It means you're the very bottom rung of society, dangerous and deranged. Some conservatives are trying to become better people. Great. But people who flaunt their conservatism are psychotic. And here's another one. Conservatism means you don't believe in equality. It means you want it all for yourself, and that it gets cut off there. Here it is. Conservative means you don't believe in equality. It means you want it all for yourself and you're willing to destroy other groups of people to take it all for yourself. That's not a crime against the law, but it's a crime against humanity, and we must acknowledge as much. And here's the next one. Conservatives cannot be teachers, police officers, doctors, lawyers, coaches, or bosses. It's constitutionally unfair to others who are subjected to the conservatives' deranged judgment. Conservatives can do menial work until they're ready to join the human race. And yeah, it's not done. We shouldn't be cold-hearted about this, but having a conservative as police officer, for instance, isn't much different from having a KKK member as a police officer. It's just not something that a civilized society can ever tolerate. And here's the next one. We should rehabilitate any conservatives who are willing to try. We should pay for them to undergo therapy and retraining so they can understand the world around them. But first, we must get them out of positions of influence because they're infringing on the rights of others. So we better be thanking the Lord above that Hillary Clinton isn't in office. Seriously. Because do you think she would be above, legislation that would harm conservatives? Now, I'm not saying she'd order them to be killed or anything, but my gosh, this is scary. It's scary. And you know what's even scarier? That he's allowed on Twitter to spew all this hatred, but if a conservative says anything, they're gone. They're erased. Okay. Let's go back. And this says important, so I bet it is. Oh, yes. Breaking. I'm sure you've probably heard about this by now. Breaking, I'm getting word that several on-duty New York Police Department members have passed out after ingesting bleach-tainted shakes at a lower Manhattan chain. I think it's called... what's it called? I forget. It's got shakes in the name anyway. Manhattan chain establishment emergency services unit is on the scene. Yeah. And it's called the Shake Shack. It's located at 200 Broadway in Lower Manhattan. And of course, this tweet is unavailable because whatever. And it says, still waiting word on details, but find it hard to believe this was simply an accident with residual cleaning fluid left behind, unless others were also infected. Yeah, and now they have said, there was no fault of the Shake Shack. So I guess the bleach just kind of got up and walked into their shakes. Must been. You have to watch that bleach. Yeah, really. Because when you're not looking, you can jump into things. Like your food and shakes. It says, after a thorough investigation by the New York Police Department's Manhattan South investigators, it has been determined that there was no criminality by Shake Shack's employees. Yeah. So where'd the bleach come from? Just asking. Unbelievable. That's the world we're living in right now. Okay, now this is jaw-dropping, and let me tell you, it really is. Really.
Yeah, see, he ran.
Okay, now I'm going to turn this down a little bit because Judge Joe Brown has a very, very hearty voice. Okay, now, listen really carefully. This is Judge Joe Brown, and he drops a bombshell about Obama's past. So listen carefully, because I'm telling you, I was floored when I heard this. And I do mean I was floored. And let me see when this was. Gosh, how long ago? This was uploaded May 12th. This is the first I've heard of it, and it doesn't have that many views, 19,000. So perhaps we need to change that. So let's listen to what he has to say. Judge Joe Brown. Let me make this bigger for you tiny phone people, and let's.
And the last one, number 44, and the one before that, 43, Bush and Obama. Well, there are pictures of Bush with his arm around 8-year-old Barack Obama, because his stepdaddy, adopted daddy, Lolo Sotoro, had done a lifetime worth of business with the Bushes. Uncle George Herbert Walker, after whom George Herbert Walker Bush one president, was named, founded Halliburton in 1946 in Oklahoma. And Lolo Sotoro had been international executive vice president for Standard Oil.
There was talk of him being a CIA asset.
Oh, well, yeah. See, he ran the death squads for the Indonesian army. On his own call, anyone could be assassinated. So when George Herbert Walker Bush became head of the CIA under the Ford administration, he just got with his old buddy in the oil business, Lolo Sotoro, and pulled off the hits. See, Barack's grandmother has been acknowledged as being the woman that operated the channels through which CIA money went to the Southwest Pacific. So she introduced her daughter, who had just had Barry, Barack, to Lolo Sotoro, and they got married, and Lolo Sotoro adopted Barack Obama. The name was changed to Barry Sotoro. Now, when he went to high school in Hawaii, I know about that high school. I almost sent my oldest son to it. I could afford it, but I didn't think he deserved it. 20 years ago, the tuition was $95,000 a year, not including room and board. When Obama went there, I talked to two of his classmates. They independently state that the tuition, not including room and board, was $45,000. Now, Business Insider reports his income for 2017 at over $200 million net. That's after taxes, deductions,
$200 million.
For this last year, 2018, they reported it as $570+ million. And that's after all deductions, tax, right? Trump doesn't make that net. I mean, even some of the richest people in America don't make that. Why? Because when his stepdaddy died, he was one of the 10, 15 richest men on earth. And he left everything in a trust fund operated out of Indonesia, so the American government can't touch it. That makes Barack Obama 1/3 beneficiary for the assets of one of the 10, 15 richest men on earth. See, so we got a game run on us. So, you know that little thing that Bush W does when he gets with Mishel, they giggle and he gives her candy. The inside thing is that's supposed to be the same kind of candy he used to give to her husband when he was 6, 7, 8 years old.
Now, if that is not jaw-dropping, I don't know what is. Really? So his stepfather, Lolo Sotoro, was one of the 10 or 15 richest men in the world. Left it to Barack, put it in a trust fund in Indonesia so the U.S. government couldn't touch it. Did he say it was last year that he made $200 million? Probably just from the interest. Well, that and his speaking engagements and his book deals and stuff, but $200 million. And apparently, you know, there's pictures of George Bush Jr. With his arm around Barack when he was 8 years old. And I guess he used to give Barack candy. Wonder what else he gave him. Wonder if there was something sexual there. I don't know. I'm not trying to be, you know, whatever, inflammatory, but I just wonder. Why was there such a friendship between Barack Obama and George Bush Jr.? And apparently his stepfather did a whole lot of business with the Bush family. Was a very, very wealthy man. His mother, was it, or his grandmother, was one of the, conduits by which money flowed from the CIA to, where did they say? Not Indonesia, but, well, I can't remember everything now. I'm going to have to make notes on this. I really am, because this is really, really important. And it's all new to me. This is new to me. But I wonder if that's the same grandmother that was killed. She just died mysteriously right before he took office. I always wondered about that. Thought it was a little odd. Well, anyway, really, I think this is pretty jaw-dropping stuff, and I would say that's coming from a good source, because, Judge Joe Brown, I'm not aware that there's anything untoward in his past. I don't know, but and look at this. He's got a lot of stuff here, so I am going to look more into this, because this is the first I'm hearing about it. I don't know about you guys, but this really has the potential of being huge. And it makes me wonder, Donald Trump signed that executive order that, if you have gained money through trafficking or any illegal activity like that, your assets can be seized. And I believe even overseas assets can be seized. My gosh, what would that mean? So I bet you Obama's, well, I was going to say he's probably on pins and needles, but probably not, because he's that arrogant. He's that arrogant. The Queen, remember, Q said, the Queen, which is Hillary, protects the King, which is Obama. So, very interesting. That's all I can say. But I'm going to take notes about this, and I'm going to look into this as well, that James, James Earl Ray didn't assassinate Martin Luther King Jr. Well, that wouldn't surprise me either. So I haven't looked into that before, but there's always a first time. So anyway, I'm going to stop there, because I am going to do another show, and we're probably at the hour mark now. I'll just leave you with that bombshell. Let me see now. I guess if you look up Judge Joe Brown and Obama, you'll probably come across this. Very interesting. And this person said, wow, Judge Joe is a red pill dealer. Yeah, apparently so. I think that's awesome. I had no idea. But it looks, how he looks right here, like he's got, it almost looks like he's got chewing tobacco in there or something. I don't know. I've never noticed that before, but all right. Not that it matters. If he wants to chew tobacco, he's an adult. Can do as he wishes. All right. Well, I'm gonna end it for now, but I am coming back with another video. Me and the little boy Xander right here, who's really quite adorable. I don't care what anybody says. I still don't think it would hurt him to go and make me a sandwich, but I'm not holding my breath. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and please keep seeking truth. All right. Good night, guys.